Welcome back to Hoops HD, everybody.
Woohoo!
It is Tuesday night. Wait,
Tuesday.
we don't do podcasts on Tuesday nights. What are we doing?
Well, we just couldn't wait. We were so excited. Like we
Uh,
we just I mean it was just why have to wait another 24 hours? People are demanding under the radar. I understand that like people were showing up to Chad's house and like banging on the windows saying we want under the radar now.
that's what it is, then. Let's do our Under the Radar show. We're doing it a day early. But I'm your host, Chad Sherwood. We got David Dorman and David Griggs with me tonight. This is our Under the Radar show. And by Under the Radar, Griggs, what the heck do we mean?
The layman's term is that it is the 23 regular one bid leagues. There's no rule that says that these conferences can't get more than one bid. There's a couple that we'll talk about to where maybe it's possible that they will get more than one bid, but typically speaking, these are not the multi-bid leagues. So it's not the power conferences, it's not the Big East, it's not the Mountain West, the West Coast. It is the American the Night, although in the past it hasn't been, and it is not the Atlantic 10.
It's not the like that. Also, extra disqualifier here. If you are ranked in the top 25 out of the major polls, that individual team, we do not consider that under the radar. We handle
Right.
them in our Monday Night Hoops HD reports. That's the case for Miami, Ohio. So while we could talk about UMass tonight and their
Yeah.
loss to Miami, we can't technically talk about Miami, but we will definitely discuss the back as we go
Yeah.
through this. We do like to go through the leagues in alphabetical order, other than a feature conference. And I think, given that we are getting really close to the end of this season here, we are in the middle of February at this point. A league that features our favorite conference tournament, perhaps. It was a
Oh.
great chance to
Oh,
highlight them and what's in stake here over the last 2 weeks of the regular season with the Sun Belt. But actually, let me start before I even go to the standings in it. Let's start by putting the Stairway to Seven on the screen here. Uh,
Beautiful.
look
if
at
you did
this.
not know this, this is not a joke. It is real.
And I want to draw your attention to this where sixth place goes as opposed to where first place goes, because, sear that into your mind because when you look at the standings, you're going to notice just how meaningful these next couple of weeks are because it, 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 it'll determine the conference champion in a lot of ways because I don't see anybody coming from that far back to win, even if they're just one game behind the first place team.
I'll put it this way: the conference service starts on a Tuesday. It plays every single day. The top two seeds won't play until Sunday. There will be a conference tournaments that start after this and
In
end before the one seed plays a game.
um
The
the Sun
OVC, for example.
the Sun Belt League office must really enjoy Pensacola because they're there for more than a week.
It's crazy, but it will be one of the first conference tournaments to start. It will not be the first conference tournament to end. 7 rounds. If you're the 11th through 14th place team, 7 rounds you would have to win in 7 consecutive days. Uh, I really want to see it happen. I don't think it ever will, but I'd love to see it
No,
happen.
if somebody does that, they should be on the one line.
Yeah. But to Greg's point here, Chad, every win in the next 2 weeks is so important. You could go from the third or the fourth seed to nine so quickly, and look how important that is.
Yeah,
Every game is
look at these
huge here.
standings. Look at you see this every year. 6 games or 6 teams separated by one game, 8 teams separated by 2 games.
This is you're right. There's a path here for Georgia Southern to be in first place. There's also a path for them to be in 13th place.
Yeah.
They're 2 games away from either of those right now, which is the difference between having to play 2 games or having to play 7 games. It's
Crazy.
uh,
I- and just how entertaining is this league? It is eating itself a little bit. Hot, hot, hot on the top. Troy, one of the teams in the mix. I think they've lost, is it 4 out of 5 or something? I mean, they were really looking like they were going to run away from the league. I think they had
four out of
a
six.
yeah, 4 out of 6. Okay. They had a 3 game lead at one point, and now they're just going in the complete wrong direction. Now, Louisiana Monroe is coming up, and there's generally no better way to end a losing streak than to play Louisiana Monroe. I highly recommend it. But
That's the biggest thing in Troy's favor for maybe getting to one of those top two seeds. Louisiana
yeah,
Monroe twice still,
yeah,
amazingly. Uh,
Marshall's playing good basketball. Coach
they are.
Jackson has that team really, really playing as well as they have all year. Watch out for the Thundering Herd. This team's playing really well.
they are just coming off a loss a few days ago
Yeah.
at Georgia Southern, though. But the nice win over South Alabama, who had been in first place until that game just a few days ago. So I agree with you there. Uh, Maybe we've got to give a few seconds here also to the team that is technically by half a game in first place.
Yeah,
The
they've been.
hot App State team also had been red hot until the loss to James Madison over the weekend.
Yeah, and they had been playing well, and they've had some good moments. I thought the win at Troy, uh, even though it was a few weeks ago, I at first I just dismissed it as Troy having an off day, but they've been kind of on a streak since then. They also had that nice win against High Point. That was, I think that was around Christmas. I remember watching that, but not, I can't remember exactly when it was. But yeah, they're on a roll. You just get the sense there's a couple of leagues like this. This is one, the CAA, another one, the OVC, another one, where you just get the sense that there's literally 8 teams that could realistically win the conference tournament.
Yeah, but again, realistically, that number changes once we get the field set
Yeah,
here.
once we get the field set.
Because I could see the 3 or the 4 seed maybe doing it.
Yeah.
But after that, if you're playing Tuesday through Friday, I don't see you having enough left to beat a team that a 3 or 4 seed that hasn't played yet, and then beat a 1 or a 2 seed that hasn't played yet, and then win one more game on top of that on Monday night.
God. The Stairway to Seven, and it certainly creates amazing drama and stakes and storyline for the season. Wow, because I mean, how pivotal is literally, well, all of these games coming up.
Pretty much.
Marshall's going to App State this week.
Yeah,
Yeah. Look at. I would highlight which games to watch, and I'll throw that Marshall App State game out there. But there's very few out here that you should not watch.
right.
Troy South
Troy,
Alabama on
that's a big
Saturday.
one. Yeah,
Coastal Carolina's been playing pretty well lately. Also, we didn't even discuss them yet. They're hosting Marshall and they're hosting James Madison. James Madison team that's suddenly red hot after a weak start of the season.
yeah. I mean, James Madison in the latter part of the season has gotten really good all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, other than Louisiana Monroe, as you mentioned, Griggs, I don't know that there is any game on this list here, again, other than the ULM games. And even though they're hosting their home games this week for Monroe, I don't think there's any game on the schedule that I wouldn't say is almost a coin flip the way this conference has played out so far.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree.
But let's go ahead and go through the rest of the leagues here. Dorman, let's start things off or continue things on, I guess, over in the America East, where how about NJIT half game lead over UMBC?
It's shocking to see in
It
February Vermont not in top and ready to take the first and the top seed so that every game in the playoffs in the conference tournament will be in Burlington. But Vermont's playing much better lately. But NJIT has really played the best of it in this conference from start to finish. You can see it there. They're 10-2. They got a couple games coming up, but this is so important, that top seed, because you get that game on your home floor for the championship. It just ask Vermont fans, ask the Catamount fans how big it is to play in Burlington for that championship. They own the conference because that game has been in Burlington for so long. If NJIT can break that streak and get that game on their home court, I like their chances to go dancing.
And it may come down to this final game of the regular season with them hosting UMBC to see who gets to be that number 1 seed.
Yeah, and they also got a game against Vermont coming up as well. Vermont, I thought Saturday looked as good as I've ever seen them look in conference play, but a few days before that, they were playing a team that I don't think would qualify for the D2 tournament. This Binghamton team is so weak, and they looked like hot garbage in that game.
Yeah, they did. They did find a way to win that game at Binghamton, 73-65. It was not. It was much closer than that 8-point final. Huge week for Vermont. They can turn the season around this week, but they got to play UMBC and NJIT on the road back to back.
Yeah, and they need them both. And if they play like they did against Binghamton, they're not going to win either game.
I agree with you. If they play like they did against Bryant, they might, but
Yeah.
I don't know that Bryant's got that much either. Yeah, the upcoming games, obviously, are those two we just highlighted, the two Vermont games at NJIT, at UMBC. Top two teams will also be hosting Albany. I expect them to win those Albany games, though.
Yeah, I think so. So
You also
busy week in this league.
let's Griggs, jump over to the American. We mentioned this conference is down here,
Yes.
and everything we're talking about. One of the reasons we hesitated in putting them in the under the radar at the beginning of the season was because of Tulsa.
Yeah.
Uh, Tulsa had an 0-2 week, and that's it for this Tulsa team, short of a run in the conference tournament.
Yeah, and when you're losing at home to a UAB team that's not within 1,000 miles of the bubble, and when you're Wichita State, not easy to go there and win, but you know what you have to do to get inside the bubble. It's you have to win games that are not easy to win. Losing them both, I still think that their ceiling is high. I still think that if they get on the 12 or 13 line, they could be a formidable team in the round of 64. But in order to get there, one of their wins better be that last conference tournament game. And I think that's true for everybody. I think you're starting to look at South Florida. I just don't see the WAB being there. That was such a determining factor in selection last year. I am starting to come around to them. I was on Tulsa's bandwagon for so long. I'm now with you guys. I think I'm the last one to jump from Tulsa to South Florida and finally agree that the Bulls are the class of the league.
Yeah, but Dorman, I kind of agree with you. But I don't really think, even though there's five regular season games in the conference tournament, and a sweep over Memphis would always be nice. I don't think there's enough here for them to get to that at-large discussion. Do you?
No, I agree with you. This Memphis team isn't your usual Memphis team, so that's not going to hold us so much water there. Uh, I'm with you guys. I can't even find an argument that South Florida gets inside the bubble with what they have remaining and what they didn't do in the non-conference. I think they're a long shot from the bubble.
Yeah,
Okay.
I will throw this out there also. The American is using a ladder format as well,
Yep.
not a 300 round ladder,
Yeah.
but they are using a ladder format this year with the top. I believe it's the top 10 teams getting into that ladder, which means for Tulsa, there's a huge battle right now between
Yeah.
bunch of teams for that second bye. It looks like South Florida gets the one seed.
Yeah.
Who gets that two seed in the second bye to the semis?
I actually, for under the radar conferences, which the American normally isn't, I think that this is the best conference tournament format. The only thing that makes it better is that if it's campus sites, essentially the top two buy into the semis, and then there's a tournament of four for the other two semifinal spots. So, I mean, there is a huge advantage to finishing second, and what a race we have going on for second in this league all of a sudden.
Yeah. And UAB's in a fight to get in. UAB gets this tournament on their home floor. If
Yep.
they could get something going at home, but they got to keep it. They got to win the next couple of weeks, or they won't be in the tournament at all at home.
Yeah,
I believe I could double
it's at the
check that.
BJCC. Like it's not a
Oh,
In their
I'm
home,
sorry.
it's in their home city.
Birmingham. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Sorry.
I believe I'm double checking this right now. I believe it is 10 teams in this tournament, not eight.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
so
Well, yeah,
UTSA is on the verge of being eliminated. They can be eliminated tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's 10 teams. You got
Uh,
two into the semis. You got another tournament of four, that's six, and then another tournament of four, that's 10.
Yeah, yep,
Yeah.
you got it.
So,
All right, let's there's the rest of the upcoming schedule this week, by the way. South Florida's only game is that home game against
Yeah.
Memphis coming up Thursday night.
Memphis, if it looks like a duck and sounds like a duck, they went out to Utah State and lost the way a team would lose in a bye game, and then complained about how
Yeah.
Utah State run up the score the way a team that lost a bye game would complain.
Yeah, we may be at the end of the penny experiment here this year. Also, we'll see what happens in the off season. I know Memphis fans are not very happy with him.
Which
Uh,
is, you kind of hate that because he was such a key part of that program before he became a coach.
Dorman, over in the A-Sun, where we have a two-way battle here between Austin P and Central Arkansas, first of all, this
Wow.
Austin P team's been playing great, but second of all, the Central Arkansas team is one win away from tying their program D1 record for wins in a season at 18. They've only had one winning season ever, so
Crazy.
that's been a crazy story also.
Scottie Pippen is so proud.
Mm.
Yes, Central Arkansas is playing really, really well coming into the season. I didn't even have them in the top half of this conference. I've
I
been
didn't
impressed
have them
with
in the
them.
top 12.
I agree. Their coaching looks like a total. The team looks totally different. They actually grind you on defense. They really work you, and they got a couple of scores on the perimeter that really put pressure on you. I can see Central Arkansas winning this tournament. I'm not knocking Austin Peay at all, but it's a great story this year, Central Arkansas.
It's a phenomenal story. And
And coming up, it's still a week away. They got to play
Yeah.
Austin Peay one more time. Yeah.
yeah, they go on the road to play Austin Peay.
I'm
But
sorry, that's the
what?
only time they play this season. I
Yeah.
believe that's their only meeting.
And you
Go
kind
ahead.
of hate three. I mean, this is a rough stretch down the three of their last four on the road, and then they're home against Queens. But at first you thought, oh, it's kind of neat to see them get off to like a 2-1 or 3-1 start in conference. But I mean, they just keep winning games, and they went to Lipscomb and won. They went to Queens and won, and you're just like, holy crap! Central
10,
Arkansas.
10 game winning streak. One of the longer winning streaks in the entire nation right now.
Yeah.
Es-
It,
Especially with St. Louis falling down tonight.
I still hate what the ASUN has done, taking it away from campus sites and going to a predetermined site. But how crazy would that have been had Central Arkansas gotten to play the championship game at home?
Uh,
So
the,
cool.
the,
Yeah,
there's the key games coming up this week. Austin Peay has the North Florida Jacksonville trip, while Central Arkansas has a Stetson Florida Gulf Coast trip. And I actually have this conference tournament here. I want to throw this bracket on the screen. Here's the ASUN tournament. I just want to throw it up here on the screen because it leads the nation in notes and asterisks about the way that the conference tournament works. First of all, is West Georgia, who's in the NCAA tournament. What happens if they win the tournament? It basically would go to the regular season champion. If that's a tie, there's a bunch of other things. On top of that, uh, the Friday, Saturday, Sunday games will all be at the downtown Veterans Memorial Arena. Wednesday's games will be played at UNF, the first round games, except any game involving North Florida. That one game, that one time slot, will be played over at Swisher Gymnasium on Jacksonville's campus, so North Florida doesn't have the home court advantage. Except if they're playing Jacksonville and North Florida's the higher seeded team, they'll move that game back to North Florida UNF Arena.
so they've got like five different event managers on call for this event.
It's I get it that what they're saying here is we're not going to give UNF a home court advantage, but we
If
also
they
don't want to
don't
give
deserve
Jacksonville
it.
a home court advantage if
Yeah,
they're playing each other. In which case, if they play each other, we go to whoever's the higher seed. They're going to host that game.
yeah.
Correct. It looks like the top four seeds have kind of broken away from the rest of the pack. So if you get those top four seeds, you get a bye. So there is a big break between 4 and 5, and also in the standings.
Yeah. Uh, let's Griggs, let's jump on over to the Big Sky Conference.
Yeah.
And well, Portland State, you know what? I mean, non-conference, we've been all on this Northern Colorado bandwagon. They
Yeah.
completely collapsed the conference season, but here they go. They beat Portland State this week.
Well,
Maybe they're coming back.
they're kind of a story. So Portland State, clearly the best team, at least since conference play began. Um, just the two losses and winning pretty. I mean, they weren't blowing teams out, but they were going on the road and winning. They were beating teams that were hard to beat. Northern Colorado is just sort of. You want to talk about schizophrenia for long periods of time. Really impressive out of conference. Had the win at Colorado that impressed us, but it wasn't just that. It was very solid. Started off 1-7 in conference play, and we're not just at the bottom, but way, way, way at the bottom. Now they've suddenly won six in a row and gone on the road and beaten what is clearly the best team in the league. And I gotta say that, like, regardless of what they have done before, they are what they are now. Is Northern Colorado the most dangerous team, even though they're in the middle of the standings heading into the Big Sky tournament?
Just a quick note, that was a home game over Portland
Oh, it
State
was a
this
home
week,
game.
not a road
Well,
game.
that just blows my whole point to hell.
Uh, but the conference tournament being in Boise, it's not on anybody's home court.
Yeah.
Dorbert, I'm with him. I think this Northern Colorado team could go in there as a 3 or 4 seed and could win this whole thing.
I don't disagree with you guys. I'd like to see a championship game of Portland State in Northern Colorado. I think they're the clear top two teams in this conference, and two teams that actually can hang with some of the power conference teams. It would be a great championship game. I'm with you guys. I'd love to see Northern Colorado break
It's
through.
got,
Did Northern Colorado just decide to take the month of January
Yeah.
off? Like,
yeah, we do need to get Northern Colorado up to the 3 seed to make that happen, though, Dorman, because otherwise it'd be a semifinal game.
yeah.
There's no reseeding in this
1-5,
conference.
correct.
Yeah,
Or
1-4,
they-
1-5.
Yeah, or drop to 6.
Yeah. Upcoming this week, Portland State hosting Idaho and Eastern Washington. Well, Northern Colorado, we're still paying attention to. They're hosting Northern Arizona on Saturday. Those are a few games
Yeah.
worth watching. Let's, Dorman, over in the Big South Conference, High Point, great story, great team, but Winthrop will not go away.
Yeah.
No, Winthrop. When you think they're dead and buried, they just keep fighting back. I love this High Point team. I really do. I think they're strong. But on the case of Winthrop, they just a really solid basketball team, really well coached. They're deliberate. They know what to look for. They know what to get. The J and G numbers on both High Point and Winthrop really, really strong. It's coming out of this Big South Conference. I would be very disappointed if we didn't get a High Point Winthrop championship game.
I don't know how it's not going to happen. I really do. I mean, it would be
Yeah.
a shock. Either of these teams losing before the championship game would be an utter shock to me.
It really would be. I think High Point clearly the more talented team. I think Winthrop might be the team that's the most scrappy and that hustles more. But they're both really good.
And here's that preview coming up Saturday.
Yeah, it
Winthrop
is.
at High Point.
And that's going to
Great.
determine. Yeah, not campus sites. Not or are they? No, Big South doesn't do campus sites.
We're going to Johnson City.
Yeah. So all that might really, I mean, it's a great litmus test, but all that it really might means is who's going to be wearing the white uniforms. But still, be sure and tune into that game. It's going to be fun.
I'll tell you what it does also mean here. I think Radford has a little bit of life. They've shown it at times this year. You get that 1 seed, you get to avoid the Radford semifinal.
True. Yeah. Is Presby, Asheville. You go off a cliff once you get past Winthrop.
Yeah. By the way, they both play Thursday night as well before we get to that matchup, so they do have to get by a couple of home games that they should win, but
Yeah.
they do play the games. Griggs, over in the Big West, Hawaii, we've been
Yeah.
talking them up. They get a 1-1 week. Or UC Irvine, we talk them up. They get a 1-1 week. UC Santa Barbara, we talk them up. Everyone gets a 1-1 week. It's like a New
Yeah.
York show here.
Hawaii particularly disappointing in the game that they lost. They did not mess around losing it. The Eaters, I kind of expected more out of both the Eaters and Hawaii, but having said that, we always make the point of what a hard league this is, and it is. I wish Rocco was here to talk extensively about Cal State Northridge, because I'll just be honest, I've only seen them a few times, and generally when I've seen them, it was when they were playing Santa Barbara,
Hottest team in
Hawaii.
the conference,
They
Griggs.
are. Yeah. And this is a big week coming up. They're going to the Santa Barbara Long Beach road trip, and then they got Irvine a week from the night. In an 8-day stretch, they play 3 games that could move them all the way up.
Yeah, I think this conference regular season title is wide open.
It is.
Again, tournament in Vegas, no campus sites, so you're playing for seeding. I believe you are doing a ladder here. I'm just double checking
Yes,
that.
1-2,
ladder.
1-2 direct to the semis, 3-4 direct to the quarters. So yes, the top 2 seeds are really big here as we go down the stretch. Hawaii, Irvine, Santa Barbara, even Northridge is in out of the top 2. So those are big spots.
Yeah, and UC San Diego had a lot of life early in the season.
Yeah.
Cal Poly shown life this season. Only 8 teams in this conference tournament. It should be those bottom 3 should get knocked off here fairly soon. In fact, as of I think Thursday night, we're probably going to lose one of them already with some games that are coming up. So
This is going to be a great conference tournament. This is once you get to those top 8, anyone can win.
we got Cal Poly at Hawaii and Santa Barbara at Hawaii this week. We got Irvine at Long Beach, San Diego at Irvine. We've also got Northridge at Santa Barbara. There's a lot of great games this week in the Big West, actually.
Yeah. This conference causes me to lose a lot of sleep because
Yeah.
living on the East Coast.
Uh,
Yeah. And I love that the conference tournament's in Vegas. It's a
Yeah.
California-centric league. Every team but Hawaii, so they're playing it in Vegas.
well, next year they're losing Hawaii, but they're picking up Utah, so Utah
Yeah.
Valley. And Dorman over in the CAA, UNC Wilmington now out to a 2-game lead. A nice week here, beating a game Elon team and a pretty good Hofstra team.
Yeah,
That
they've
Hofstra
won
game was wild.
wild. They've won three in a row. I like this Wilmington team from the start of conference play. I think they're strong. I think they're tough. I like what Coach Siddle has his squad doing. My team going into the tournament is Wilmington, but Charleston, you can see right there, is 10-4. They're not far back, and I actually think Monmouth's playing pretty good ball as of late as well.
I
Yeah,
still
thank you
think
for bringing up
Hofstra's
Monmouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, thank you for bringing up Monmouth. 3 straight wins, but at Stony Brook, at Textra, at Drexel, they're showing me a lot of. I've watched you won 5 out of 6 overall. Monmouth. I think it's a
Yeah.
dangerous team heading into the tournament. Huge week for them though. At Wilmington, at Charleston.
Yeah, Chad, your microphone's doing that thing where we're getting the nasty feedback again. So, but one of the teams that's not on the screen that I can't talk about is I still think Hofstra is dangerous. They continue to poke themselves in the eye, but the win at Wilmington, it went back and forth, and it's really hard to win there. As well in some of their losses as they played in that game, that they'd have a lot more wins. Even though similar to Northern Colorado, even though Hofstra hasn't always played up to their ceiling, I still think they're one of the more dangerous teams in a conference tournament format if they really hit their stride. And they were probably the most accomplished team from this conference in out of conference play.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
First question: am I back?
You are,
Yes,
and you sound
we're
perfect.
much
Great,
You
better.
sound marvelous, Chad.
Great. All right, we got to still keep working on that. We have not figured out what the problem is here with that speaker, but
Yeah.
uh, let's take a look at the upcoming schedule here this week in the conference. We mentioned it. It really is those
The
two
Monmouth
Monmouth
week.
games
Yeah.
at Wilmington, at Charleston. Wilmington's other game is at Campbell on Saturday. Winnable, very winnable.
Yeah.
Tricky
Let's-
spot, but winnable.
Mhm. Let's jump over, Griggs, to CUSA.
Yes.
How about one of 2 teams in the nation that is undefeated within its conference? It's only 2 left: Miami,
Yeah.
Ohio, and Liberty.
And they're undefeated. Essentially, how many games are left? I think that they're very close to clinching at least a share of winning it outright, like a win or two away from it. And it's just been, I remember being kind of down on Liberty for some of their out of conference losses. NC State, no shame in that, but I mean, they just lost badly. And I thought that they were better than both Bradley and Towson. I know that those were on back-to-back days a long time ago. I think that this Liberty team, like, I hate the term eye test, but there aren't 40 teams out there that are better than Liberty. And that doesn't mean the committee will select them, but I think they should if they manage to finish this off and win out through the regular season. And hopefully, I don't know, you look at that WAB, if it can get down into the 40s, uh, if the committee's paying attention, you know that Liberty's a top 40 team.
Yeah, it's just none of these remaining games really moves the
They don't.
needle at all.
Yeah, and the committee, they select off resume, they select off metrics, and I just think that Liberty is a case, and there's cases like this every year. That's a lot better than their resume and their metrics. They are really, really good.
They did actually get a big test from New Mexico State about a week ago.
They did, yeah, and
but they found a way.
they found a way, and they didn't look particularly impressive against UTEP either. They've had some bad nights, but that's just it. Even on nights where they don't look very good, they still win.
Yep.
Dorman, this week they've got FIU at home and Western Kentucky at home.
Yeah, Western Kentucky sitting in the middle of the pack there, 7-7. They, need to make a move here. The top 10 teams do make the tournament, but on the going to the quarters, the top, I believe it's the top 6 get a slot to the quarters. So you want to be above 6. I think it's Liberty's conference this year. I just think they're
Oh
so
yeah.
much better. They're so much stronger. I like Sam Houston. I think they've had a really nice year. They got a good team, but Liberty is just really, really strong. And those computer numbers like the JNG, I'm with them.
Dorman, let me stick with you over in the Horizon League, where it just seems that nobody likes to win. It seems every single week what I see is Wright State loses, and then Oakland goes ahead to, loses on the same night. Oakland
Oakland's lost like
0-2
three or
week.
four in a row, I think.
Yeah, Oakland's fallen apart. Wright State lost the home game to Detroit, did bounce back with the win at Cleveland State, so they have a two-game lead amazingly in this conference.
Yeah, Oakland's lost 3 in a row just when I thought they were going to get going. If Wright State's probably playing the best overall, Green Bay, Gottlieb's team really showing such a difference, such a turnaround from last year.
Oh my
There've
God.
been a
Yeah.
few games that they just got beat out at the last few possessions. I mean, that conference record could easily be like 2 or 3 more wins, and then you'd be right at the top of that. But that doesn't matter because they didn't win them. But this is going to be another conference tournament. I can tell you, I think seeds 2 through 7 are as tight as they get. Going to be great. But as it goes in, I think Wright State will be the favorite, deservedly so. And we'll see how they go down the stretch. But tight.
How about Doug Gottlieb's press conference after the Milwaukee
Yeah.
game? Now,
Yeah.
I do have to agree with him. There was some absolutely ridiculously horrible foul calls in this
Yeah.
game, but Griggs,
Uh,
he
yeah.
kind of went off.
So the Horizon League, I was thinking about making this my final thought. Has a new commissioner. It's sort of unusual for a new commissioner, not an interim, but a brand new one to be appointed in the month of February. But Jill Bodensteiner, am I saying that right? I've never met her.
Yes, you got
Okay,
it.
Bodensteiner, new Horizon League commissioner, and she needs to explain to Doug Gottlieb why he's getting a technical foul. She needs to get on the phone and do that.
He keeps calling her out. Oh boy, he wants to know.
Oh, I
and he
bet she called
uses
him.
her name. Oh man, he's going to get a call from the commissioner's
Well,
office.
if I take that back. Commissioners don't talk to coaches, but I bet his AD got a phone call.
Yeah. Wright State this week is hosting IUND and Robert Morris. Green Bay, if you want to talk at them, they're at Oakland in an interesting game Friday night. I think Green Bay is going to win this game, honestly.
I do too. They are a lot. That was just go find it if you haven't seen it yet. It was an epic press conference. I don't even
Greg,
think I think he was just making a statement. I don't think anybody asked him a question.
He
Greg's over
didn't feel he got upset, so shouldn't have gotten a technical, is what he
Yeah.
came down.
over the Ivy League, Yale got the win at Dartmouth, and then a heck of a game at Harvard that they found a way to win in overtime somehow.
Really good, really entertaining game between the two best teams in the conference, a rivalry game. It was going on during Arizona and and Arizona and Texas Tech, and I'm trying to follow both of them on my phone. I was like at the police station for, well, you said not to talk about that, but going back and forth. But I've been kind of beating up on Yale, and I always say that it's sort of weird to say that an 18-4 team is underperforming. Was that Yale's best win of the year? I think it may have been. That was
I
a
agree.
good win. Yeah.
They're starting to really play like I thought they could have played, coming into the season. They're starting to put it in gear. Perfect timing. Penn also starting to play a little better as well too.
Yeah.
Penn playing better, looking like they may get one of those 3 teams. It looks like we're still going to have a hell of a battle for that 4th and final spot in the Ivy League tournament. Cornell, Columbia, Dartmouth, Princeton, all right there.
Yeah, we're down to just 4 remaining games. So, I mean, you want to talk about pivotal games down the stretch.
It'd be fun to see Fran McCaffrey in the tournament there, in the Ivy tournament.
We've got, I think Dartmouth at Columbia, the big game this week in terms of the 4th spot, and Penn at Yale, the big game overall in the conference this week. Just one game for everybody this week.
Yeah, Cornell can't afford to lose either.
Dorman, over in the Metro Atlantic. How about Merrimack? They now have a 2-game lead over St. Peter's, who suffered a loss to was it Sacred Heart about a week ago? Yep.
I can't be more impressed with this Merrimack team. Every time I watch them, I feel like they're just getting better and they just play as a team really, really well. If it's tight, they somehow seem to pull it out and get through it. And they have the ability just to blow teams out of the water, like you see they did to Marist. I think they're really strong. I think it's going to take a big time effort from. I like Siena. I thought they had some losses there. They probably couldn't have they probably should have won, but I like this Merrimack team. Very strong.
Just a quick note, Canisius and Ryder in red because they have been eliminated from qualifying for the conference tournament, removed from our survival board up there as well.
Yeah.
Those two teams cannot win the NCAA tournament. Niagara on the verge of elimination. Staved it off with a winning. They've lost a ton of close games this year. They got their first close win over Iona on the weekend
Yeah.
just to stay alive.
Yeah, that would have been a triple elimination in one game. So
Mhm.
it's rare you get to knock out three teams, but they almost did it.
Almost
Iona did.
happened. It was a double. There
Yeah.
was a double elimination though.
Yeah.
Coming up this week, let's get that back up there. Merrimack hosting Siena and Iona. Guess we'll keep an eye on St. Peter's as well. They're at Iona and at Siena as well. So uh, that's about all to really pay attention to. Maybe Niagara. It's Mount St. Mary's just because that's probably where Niagara's chances of winning the national championship technically end.
Yeah.
Uh, Griggs over in the Mid-American Conference. Well, how about UMass? Gave Miami of Ohio a heck of a game, but we don't talk about
They
Miami of
did.
Ohio on this
Um,
conference page.
yeah.
We just talked about UMass. But go ahead.
A lot of teams have given Miami a heck of a game. I am starting. I kind of gave up on Akron a little bit. I thought that they would have played better down at Troy. That was kind of a disappointing loss, but they are keeping pace. And while they don't get a shot at Miami at home, I think that Miami's getting all the attention and they deserve it. But as far as who's better than who on the court, Akron, I don't think is that far behind them. And I think that they can win in a conference tournament format, especially up in Cleveland.
I totally agree with you, and I give
Yeah.
some credit without talking about Miami to the UMass students and the Amherst community. They really showed up for this game tonight. They were loud, they were into it, they were excited. For the most part, they were in the game. The team kept them in the game. It was an exciting atmosphere at the Mullins Center, which is fun to see because I used to love the games there with Temple and UMass, and they were just great. So it's good to see UMass starting to come back a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see UMass actually become a force of this conference in the next couple of years here.
That
Yeah,
would be.
I remember UMass was a national brand for a
Yeah.
while. I mean, it went to
They
a
had this
Final
guy named
Four.
Calipari coaching there. I think he had a good
Yeah,
career after UMass too.
yeah, he did.
Okay.
It was fun. That
Yeah, he
place
went
was
to, well,
jumping.
I don't know. He left UMass, went to the Nets, didn't do so well. I don't know what he did after that.
He was an assistant for the Sixers for a while.
Okay, yeah.
Then he went to Iona.
Iona. Uh,
Mm,
um,
yeah,
this week, Miami hosting Bowling Green, and then they've got a back-to-back games at Eastern Michigan and I believe at Northern Illinois after that coming up later the following week. But Akron at Ball State and hosting Buffalo as well.
yeah.
Uh,
Ball
maybe
State really having a hard year. Golly.
uh, I only 8 teams make this conference tournament. It's There's kind of a line here,
Yeah.
Griggs. You kind of look at it. We've been talking about it a couple of years in a row now. Those three directional Michigan teams in Northern Illinois and Ball State. It's like everybody
Right.
west of that Ohio State line, or north and west of the Ohio State line, is just no good in this conference. It's the six Ohio teams, UMass and Buffalo, that are going to be the conference tournament.
Yeah. Some off the court news in this league. They have a new affiliate football member, but we don't talk football on this show.
No, they have a new affiliate football member, which, out from the West Coast. And, could you imagine a football conference with a team from, let's say, California and a team from,
Yeah.
oh,
Buffalo.
from Buffalo, or like a team from California, a team from Poughkeepsie, and a team
Yeah.
from Florida, like the Pioneer League? Okay, the
Yeah.
travel is not the issue. The issue is the money with that. But well,
Yeah.
that's really not basketball, so we'll stay
Right.
away
Yeah.
from that. But Dorman, let's jump over to the MEAC, and How about
Howard.
Howard finally getting it by half a game into first place after their lousy start to the conference season?
Yeah, I believe they've won 2 in a row. Howard starting to play better ball as most expected. Howard, they liked Howard coming into the season in the MEAC, and they're starting to show why. They're really starting to play better ball. But Morgan State, UNC Central, right there, Norfolk State. No one's really going away. I don't see Howard breaking apart. It's tight there at the top end. I look for it to stay that way probably throughout until we get to Norfolk for the tournament.
Yep. Coppin State not participating in this conference tournament due to their APR ineligibility, so you want to get that 1 seed and get to skip the quarterfinal round.
Yep, you do. And in a conference like this, it might actually come into play.
Huge help.
Upcoming this week, Howard will be hosting NC Central. That's a pretty good game on Saturday, actually.
It's a
Very.
real good game.
Over in the Griggs, over in the where are we? Missouri Valley Conference.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Belmont bounces back from their loss to Bradley, has a 2-0 week.
Yeah, Belmont, God, you hated to see them lose that game to Bradley because I still think that they were within reach of an at-large. They're not now, but they are capable of playing really well. In the first half against Murray State, did not play well. Out of the locker room until the first media timeout, really did not play well. The game just really got away with them. Fell down by 17 on the road to Murray State. I turned it over. What happened after that?
Yeah, that was 17 was the final margin.
Oh, wow. I see. There you go. I mean, they just fell behind and couldn't.
34-point turnaround there. Wow, it was an amazing late second half there for Belmont,
Yeah.
who has I guess Dorman. Let me ask you: they get these 3 wins, which would include another Tier 2 win at Illinois State to end the
Yeah.
regular season. You maybe pick up a win over another one, neutral court win over a Murray or an Illinois State in the conference tournament semis. You lose there in the finals to either to a Bradley or to a Murray.
Yes, you
Aren't
have
they
to get
aren't they
there.
discussed at least?
Absolutely discussed. Very highly discussed. They have to get to the. I think they have to get to that championship game, but I don't necessarily. I think they should actually get a very strong look. This team is really, really good. Just like we discussed Liberty, and Greg was saying how good Liberty was. I like Belmont as well. I think this is a really good team. I think they should be spoken about in the committee room, whether they get to that final game or not. I'm impressed. I think they shoot the ball lights out. Casey Alexander might be the end of his career in Belmont because he'll probably be moving up, going to a power conference. But I love this Belmont team.
And look at their 4 losses. Two of
Yeah.
them came in overtime. The third one by 1 point.
Yeah.
That's 3 points away in regulation from only having the Richmond loss on that resume.
Right. And
UIC
was Richmond an
still playing.
overtime loss? It was no Richmond.
No.
Richmond was regulation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Richmond they
UIC 2 more
no-showed.
wins.
Yeah.
Yes, that was the only game they no-showed all year, though.
Yeah.
But you're right. Yeah, UIC 2 more wins, but Bradley is actually now in sole position of second place.
Hmm.
Yeah, Bradley moving up there. The top, I believe, 5 seeds don't have to play the first day in the tournament on Thursday, so that's always a helpful, to when you get to the semis and the finals. But this is going to be Belmont's going to need everything they got because this is not going to be easy. We see upset after upset in the Missouri Valley all the time. But I'm with you, Chad. I think they should definitely be discussed, and I think they're worthy of an at-large.
A good game coming up tomorrow night. Murray State at Illinois State, Indiana State at Belmont over the weekend. Next Tuesday, Bradley at UIC. That could be a battle for second place at the conference.
Yeah.
If Murray slips up again, especially.
Yeah.
Those are some good games. Yeah.
One of the gold standards, not at campus sites, but God, one of the gold standards for under the radar tournaments, I would say this in the Mid-American up in Cleveland, just unbelievable tournament experiences for the fans.
Yeah, Griggs, let me stick with you. Over to the NEC, where
This is the best. This is the gold standard of all of athletics. This
yeah.
conference.
Now LIU still firm control of the conference, but they slipped up at New Haven over the weekend.
Yes, they slipped. They didn't just slip; they completely fell.
Uh,
Yeah,
and this is New Haven's biggest win
ever.
in D1 history since they've been
Yeah.
a D1 team. Uh,
Um, this is a really good Long Island team, and that really is, I mean, that really was a special moment for New Haven, recent, well, still a transitional team to get a win like that. And I guess at the end of the day, did it knock Long Island maybe from a 16 down into the first four? Possibly, but it wasn't that consequential. Long Island's
I,
still
I,
the
I
best
still
team.
I still have them above the first four, assuming they win the
Yeah.
conference tournament. Yeah.
And I think you're right. They'll get the conference tournament home court advantage. I don't think anybody beats them on their floor. It's still Long Island's conference.
Yeah, this week ahead, they've got a trip to St. Francis and a trip to Mercyhurst. Uh,
Yeah,
it's a pair of road games. I guess we could say that about them.
I
Uh,
would because it's an eight-team field, and
let's
like
look at that bottom there. We got three teams. Only two of them can make the conference tournament.
yeah, it would
Hmm.
be yeah,
New Haven will not be in the conference tournament. That's why two of these three will make it.
yeah. And I kind of we need to say this because I mean these are crunch time games with survival board stakes. When St. Francis comes off that survival board, they are never going back on. Kind of hate to see them transition
Terrible.
down. Yeah.
Big game Saturday. Wagner at St. Francis. That could potentially determine whether or not
Yeah.
St. Francis gets to play the NEC, gets to play one last NEC tournament.
Yeah. I hate the decision, but they didn't ask me what I thought.
St. Francis, this is their last year in D1. They will be going
Yeah.
after the season. Dorman, over in the OVC, when I was picking the feature conference tonight, I stared at the Sun Belt. I stared at this one. I flipped back and forth. I finally went with the Sun Belt, but almost went this way because look at these standings again for a ladder format tournament.
You're absolutely right, Chad. The 1 and 2 seeds automatic to the semis, 3 and 4 to the quarters. So, like you just said there, 1 through 6 is so tight. We're talking about 2 game difference without the tiebreakers coming into play. It is so tight, and they're so important. Also, what's important is only the top 8 get to go. So we see Little Rock and Tennessee Tech fighting for that last spot. I really like the upward trajectory of the Moorhead State team. I really think they're starting to play together. It isn't the greatest shooting team, but they somehow seem to get it going as of late. They stick with it. I think the coach is doing a real nice job there. I think that they've won 3 in a row. I think Moorhead State is going to be a factor in Evansville, Indiana, in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I think they really turned a page about a week and a half ago when they won at UT Martin, who is still technically in first place.
Yeah,
And they've looked like a different team since then, in my opinion.
Yeah.
absolutely.
So has UT Martin. Looking really. I said to someone, I can't remember if it was our group chat or another one, to where I said this UT Martin. They're playing SEMO right now. I think it is the most poorly played sporting event in the history of our species.
As we record this, that game is tied at 38-38 with 6:44 left in the second, not the first, the second.
Yeah,
That should be the score at 6:44 in the first. I'm sorry.
it's been both defenses have been atrocious and the teams have missed wide open shots. That was like the first half.
And the winner of this game is in first place.
Oh,
Maybe we'll
God.
get a final score before we're done here, but let's take a look at the rest of the upcoming week here. If you want to talk about that Moorhead team and how well they're playing lately, they are Eastern Illinois at Western Illinois and hosting Southern Indiana. So while there's a couple of road games, they are winnable games ahead this week. Also, keep an eye on Tennessee State's team. I've been talking up all season. I think they're in strong position for making one of those top 2 seeds also. Griggs, over in the Patriot League.
Navy running away with it. I know Colgate has shown some moments. Boston U's look good at times. It's just the big story will always be a Navy loss. When they win, it's not even a story. It's just expected. So how do you Navy having a historically good year for them?
How about
Obviously, it's not the
that was
best of all time. They had
that
a
was a
guy.
that was a great game on the week over the weekend when they won at Colgate and
Yeah, it
pretty much
was.
ended the conference regular season, I think.
Right, and I think it's an 18 game. They've already clinched a tie for first place. Have they swept Colgate? They have.
Yes.
4 games left in a
Yes.
four-game.
No.
No, okay, they got one more. So
One
they
more
have not
time.
locked up home court advantage yet, but one more win and they will. And I think it wouldn't shock me, Chad, if they won out all the way through the conference championship at this point.
I can't disagree with you there. This week they're going to be hosting Lehigh, and they do have their big rivalry game though on Saturday. This
Yeah.
is worth watching no matter what the standings are.
Right.
Navy's at Army on Saturday.
Yes.
Which is also interesting because as it sits now, Army is in the 9 seed and 8 plays 9 for a shot at the 1 seed in the Patriot League tournament, which would mean we could see Army Navy in the quarters playing for a spot in the semis.
Yeah. We've seen them play in the conference tournament, and it is a show.
It's awesome.
Dorman, over in the SoCon, been a disappointing conference all season. We've been talking about that. East Tennessee State looked like they're starting to run away with it, but they ran into Samford over the weekend at home with an overtime loss.
Yeah, it didn't look real good doing it. I was watching some of the game. They looked tired. They looked slow to me. Their energy wasn't there, I felt like, in a game where they could have had a chance to really run away from a lot of the conference from the rest and been up 3-game, I think, lead on the rest of the conference. But I think they have the most talent. Sometimes they don't show it. Their computer numbers tell me that they're probably the best team in the conference. I wouldn't count out Mercer or Wofford. I really like the way they play. I think they're really well coached. I think it's going to be a really competitive conference tournament because I don't know. There's not much difference in a bunch of these teams.
Yeah, Mercer has been playing better, at least this last week. A nice win over Furman, win at the Citadel, which has been tough to get this year. Griggs, go ahead.
Yeah, another team that's kind of coming on strong. They're down in the standings still. Samford suddenly coming to life. Citadel. It was fun when they were 6-4. It wasn't just fun. It was unbelievable when they were 6-4. But they've lost 4 straight, and in most of those losses, they've looked like the Citadel of old.
Oh, that's Western Carolina. Sorry, that's not the Citadel. Let me get the Citadel up here. Yeah,
right.
There's the Citadel for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
3 out of 4 losses now. Yeah.
This league nowhere near as strong as what we're used to seeing, but it's still been a really competitive league, and the tournament start to finish might be one of the more entertaining ones that we've seen in a while because you don't have, Furman and Wofford or East Tennessee State and Furman or East Tennessee State. You don't have 2 teams that are just running away from everybody else like it seems like we've had in the past. Samford, a dominant team in this league for the last couple of years. There is no dominant team this year. East Tennessee State has a 2-game lead, but you don't look at them and think that teams can't beat them.
There's actually a lot of interesting games coming up in terms of standings this week. Starting with East Tennessee State at Furman went tomorrow night. Circle Saturday, the Furman Wofford game. Samford Mercer. There's a lot that can happen here. East Tennessee's at Greensboro. Who are we up to here? Griggs, over in the Southland Conference. Now 2-game lead for Stephen F. Austin. They are winning games.
Yeah, 2 games with I think 4 games remaining. So they're running downhill at this point. They really should win the next 3. Really 4. I mean none of the. I'm not. I know if Rocco was here, he'd probably go into the 8-man rotation of Nichols at depth, and I know New Orleans has a lot of talent. I think SFA wins out. I think this is a really, really good and potentially dangerous SFA team in the round of 64. Going to McNeese and winning on McNeese's floor, winning that tournament won't be easy, but I think they can do it.
They beat McNeese at home, and when they went to McNeese during the regular season, they only lost by 2 back at the beginning of January.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough, but both top 2 seeds get a bye to the semis, so they would only each need to win once to meet each other in the championship. So huge if they go obviously 1-2. They are definitely looking like they are going to go 1-2. Great setup for a fantastic final with Austin and McNeese.
Yeah, I think McNeese technically needs one more win to clinch the 2 seed, so it's pretty much locked in. But
I gotta say, like,
I'm shocked if anybody but these two teams are playing in that game on the championship game in this tournament because I just don't see it happening. I don't see either one of these teams losing their semifinal game.
yeah, I don't either, and I don't like predetermined sites, as you know, for under the radar conferences. This one didn't bother me as much because I just think I thought what you all thought, that McNeese was just going to run away from the conference. So if they get to host it, great. This tournament should be at SFA. It
Yeah.
should be.
They used to play us in Katy, Texas every year. I'd love to see them go back
Yeah.
there, but SFA is hosting Nichols in New Orleans this week. McNeese hosting Corpus Christi and UTRGV. But Dorman over in the SWAC. And how about Reggie Theus's Bethune-Cookman team here?
Losing last night.
Did suffer the loss last night.
Yeah, but was that Jackson State they lost to
Yeah,
last
Jackson
night, I believe?
State.
Yeah. But yeah, Reggie's got his squad playing pretty well. They're sitting at the top of the standings here with a 2-game lead. I believe they have about 3 or 4 more games to go. I don't know that there's a huge difference in a lot of these teams, but I think Bethune has more scoring power than a lot of the teams left in the conference, and I think that's why they end up winning. They'll win the regular season. We'll see if it rolls over the conference tournament, but definitely a great shot. Reggie Theus done a tremendous job and got his team in great position to go to the tournament.
Yeah, 0-2 week for them this week, though. Couple of tough losses.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of long road trips for them also. But Griggs, they get Alabama State, Alabama A&M at home this week. A little bit
Yeah.
more of a break there, I think.
Yeah, a little bit of breathing room. I did have a question about Bethune-Cookman, and I know that this is more along either Ty Tells or John Stalika's line. Has there ever been a first place team in the history of college basketball that has been behind as much as Bethune-Cookman has in conference play? I think they've been behind more than they've been ahead. No, they're ahead when they need to be ahead at the end, but wow.
One of the games to watch this week. It's the top rivalry in the conference, Grambling at Southern on Saturday.
Yeah, always a fun one. I've really enjoyed watching the SWAC this year. I love SWAC TV. I love the app. I love that it archives the games. I love watching Mississippi Valley games when they're at home. Download the SWAC TV.
This is one of Mississippi Valley's last really good chances for a win
Yeah.
coming up Thursday night, hosting Prairie View,
This
trying
has
to get that
centenary,
first.
award implication.
Southern's a good team in this conference. Southern, I think, will be heard from again before this is all said and done.
Yeah.
Griggs over in the Summit League. North Dakota State 2-game lead now over St. Thomas after St.
Yeah.
Thomas stumbles
Rough
a bit
week. Yeah.
they took care of Kansas City easily, but Kansas City might be contending for that centenary award if Mississippi Valley State gets a win or two. But that loss to Omaha was really disappointing for them.
Very disappointing, and really surprising. When I did my bracket last week, when I do it, I normally pick the first place team, but not always. I thought St. Thomas was actually better than North Dakota State. I no longer think that. And how could you? They're behind by 2 games now, and they lost to them. North Dakota State having, I mean, we've certainly seen them on top of the conference before. I'm finally a believer, Chad. I'm off of St. Thomas and I'm on North Dakota State. I think they can win this league and the tournament.
They do have probably the 2 toughest games left of the season, though, Dorman. They got this week. They're going to be at South Dakota State, always a good rivalry, and they do have
And
at
then
St. Thomas left too next week.
Yeah, this game, Chad, they're going, like you said, to South Dakota State. This is going to tell me a lot. I'm with Griggs. I've been surprised about this team all season long, but all they keep doing is winning. But like you said, this is a really good test. They've seen South Dakota State play really good at home, and they remember that game with South Dakota. So they definitely have the power to knock off North Dakota State. So big game. Huge game, not a lot separation there, 1-2. So St. Thomas can get that top seed back if they were to start playing better. We'll see how it goes, but it's so far extremely impressive, North Dakota State.
Yeah, the other North Dakota State's other game this week is at home against Kansas City. St. Thomas at Denver.
Should win that one.
Dorman over in the WAC.
Oh, what a mess.
Actually, before I go to you, Let's talk a little bit about Utah Valley again
Yeah.
because some news came out about the team. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago how the WAC has decided to sue Utah Valley because Utah Valley is not paying their $1 million exit fee. And, all that the guys over in the WAC office are doing is sitting around going,
$1 million.
but, but all that being said, the WAC sued them in Texas, which is where the league's offices are, in just for the money, and announced though that Utah Valley cannot have home games on be streamed anymore for the rest of the season and cannot participate in the WAC tournament. Today, the news came out that Utah Valley's attorneys down in Texas filed a motion to dismiss that case, saying that the case should be properly venued in Utah, which was a procedural move that they kind of had to do because they at the same time filed a lawsuit against the WAC in the state of Utah for an injunction, which is what we said 2 weeks ago they need to do, for an injunction to allow them to participate for the rest of the season, saying that now we actually went over this a few weeks ago. They're going to need to get that injunction. They're going to need to prove that they have a reasonable chance to win this case. That's why they got to be in the state of Utah. First of all, they got to get a judge maybe who's a Beehive fan. But we'll see what happens. We're going to probably know within the next week to 10 days whether or not Utah Valley is going to get their injunction and get a chance to play in the conference tournament or not. We're going to get a decision soon, I think.
I just hate it for the athletes. It's just they have nothing to do with it, and they didn't have anything to do with the decisions. Probably the coaches didn't either, and it just comes down on them. And they've been just having a really good year, and it stinks for them.
Yeah, but how about on the court where it's not Utah Valley or California Baptist I want to discuss? How about the week by Utah Tech? Sweeps those two teams.
I did not see this coming.
Well,
They had been started to play better ball, but boy, oh boy, they looked great. I saw them play, I believe it was the Utah Valley game. They just edged them out in the end. And I don't know. I think they could. I think they're about ready to get hot and erupt and keep on going. I like this Tech team to really keep this run going. Griggs?
Yeah, the California Baptist win really kind of surprised me. Utah Valley, I don't know, both Utah Valley and Cal Baptist are good. Cal Baptist, again, they had lost their first 3 games and then won 9 in a row, and I just thought that they were really, really rolling. And but Utah Tech went out there and beat them. And yeah, I think I mean, what else can you say? It's a 3-horse race. How about that Tarleton Emily Christian game last night? What an exhibition of excellent.
That was some awful basketball last night. Huge game coming Thursday. You can't watch it. California Baptist at Utah Valley, unless the injunction comes through tomorrow. We're probably not going to get a chance to watch that one.
And that should be like a signature game for the conference that's not going to get any exposure at all unless you buy a ticket. You kind of hate that.
Terrible. The top 2 seeds get buys to the semis, so those top 1 and 2, so big.
Yeah,
you want to go to this game, get to Orem, Utah. You've got about 48 hours to do it.
Yeah.
only way you'll be able to watch it.
That's it for our regular conferences. How about some mythical conferences?
All right.
Check in on the Front Range, where it's Wyoming now with a half-game lead over Northern Colorado, despite the loss to Colorado State.
Yeah, man, still in first.
And no games coming up this week. We're just discussing some Beehive action.
Yes.
Utah Tech's win over Utah Valley, but still BYU in first there.
Yeah, BYU. Be on the lookout. College game day this weekend for someone with a sign with the Beehive standings on it.
No games coming up in the Beehive this week either. Over in the back range, New Mexico's win over Grand Canyon, but Arizona looks like they've pretty much wrapped up the back range for the year.
Mm-hmm.
UTEP at New Mexico State, big. We didn't even mention this when we were discussing CUSA. That's a good rivalry game though on Saturday.
Yeah, it's probably one of the more bitter rivalries in the conference, but just not a whole lot of stakes there.
Mm-hmm. Over in the top range, we have Gonzaga now 2-0 with the win over Wazoo. Montana State beat Montana, and Idaho not only got a Big Sky win, not only got a top range win, but Griggs, they took home the King Spud Trophy.
Yeah, the King Spud. That is a real trophy. That is not a mythical trophy. It should be, but it's not.
Anything coming up this week in this league here? I don't think. I know we got Montana at Idaho State, Montana State at Idaho State. It looks like the Zags have this conference wrapped up.
I think so, yeah.
Our very mythical Conference of Champions. Don't know how these teams could ever be in the same conference, but how about the Cal Golden Bears only half a game behind Arizona?
Yeah, and Cal with some big games coming up, trying to get inside the bubble of the big tournament.
They win this game Saturday at Stanford. They're in a tie for the Conference of Champions lead.
Yeah,
It could come down to conference tournament games and the like. Also, big USC UCLA game on Tuesday. Uh, Top 10 lists. John Sleeka voted for. He couldn't make the show tonight, but he did. He did vote. A few honorable mentions, not quite top 10. Winthrop, Tulsa, California Baptist, Austin P. Get a little bit of love.
yeah. Okay.
At number 10, how about Hawaii?
Hawaii still hanging on by a thread.
Wow.
How about tie for eighth between UNC Wilmington and McNeese?
Man,
Still in there.
McNeese way up there.
Wow.
I didn't vote for them at all. Huh. They're
That's
good.
it.
They're talented. I'll give them that.
At
Yale
7, you got Yale, very good
off their
team.
big win. Yeah,
High Point coming in at number 6.
yeah. Talented team there.
Big game this weekend with Winthrop.
Very big. Yeah,
South Florida at number 5, out of the American Conference.
yeah. A potentially dangerous team if they can win the auto bid.
Tie for third between Akron and Stephen F. Austin.
God, I like both those teams a lot.
Mhm.
Strong.
At number 2, Missouri Valley Conference leaders Belmont.
Yeah,
And coming in at number 1, probably no surprise, the Liberty Flames, undefeated in conference, the only under the radar team undefeated in conference because Miami does not go on this list.
yeah.
On the note, let's go to any final thoughts. Dorman?
Yeah, I'll go with as you just showed that those top 5, 6 teams on our under the radar top 10 are extremely dangerous. Those teams have the talent and the height and the athleticism to win a game or two. I understand they're all not going to win a game or two, but I am telling you, those teams are well equipped to give the Power Boys all they can handle and then some. I look for at least 2 of those, maybe 3 of those top 6, 7 there to win a game or 2 in the tournament. That's how talented they are. That's how deep those are under the radar, are strong under the radar conferences are this year. It's going to be fun.
Quick note, Griggs, before I go to you.
Overtime. Yeah.
Simo and UT Martin tied at 47 at the end of the first half.
Yeah. At the end of it's half.
It's a halftime score, but yes, it's
Yeah.
the end of regulation. But go ahead.
Yeah,
Finish this
UT
off.
Martin with a boneheaded turnover, or SEMO with a boneheaded turnover, which led to the overtime. Anyway, kind of piggybacking off of what Dorman said, I oftentimes when the final bracket is announced, because they bracket off profile and in metrics, I look at the 12 line and I'm like, I would rather play the teams on the 9 and 10 or 11 line than play the 12. A 12 line of Liberty, Belmont, Akron and SFA, that is a rough 12 line. That's almost like not fair to the 5 seeds.
I think you're right. But
Yeah.
on that note, I do want to thank everybody for joining us. We will be back on Sunday night with a bracket rundown show, Monday night with a Hoops HD report, and Griggs next Wednesday night. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
The season finale of Under the Radar.
Oh my God, you got to be kidding.
8 days from now.
Yeah.
We are now. It doesn't mean we're going to be done with podcasts at all.
No,
We're
we're on the verge of having a podcast every night.
We go into our championship week video notebook. We'll talk about that more next week. But on behalf of David Dorman, David Griggs, I'm Chad Sherwood. Thanks for joining us. We will talk to you again real soon.